Hey guys, it's the Scranton MMA Show. This is Frank.
I'm Jess,
It's Tom.
and we're going to start off this week by telling you some new stuff about the gym. So, if you've been around, you've seen the TV that's up in the training area. So, maybe let's talk about some things that we're going to do with said TV. So, first of all, how big is this TV?
72 inches.
That's pretty big. That's
Bigger than me.
good TV.
Definitely taller than me.
It's a smart TV, so we can like smart cast and set up Netflix and YouTube and all that good stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. So what are we gonna do with it?
I want to look at tournament matches. We've talked about watching like sparring. Obviously, we could record sparring and then watch it and go over it. But I think first starting with like tournaments, stuff like that, and reviewing would be very cool.
Yeah. Like our tournaments.
Yeah, our tournaments, our matches. Then like you can expand to like watch the Worlds, watch the Olympics, stuff like that. I think that would be cool as well. Again, I just think you get a lot out of watching yourself, but then obviously like really, really, really good people doing it also.
Yeah. I think eventually it would be great to, this is a little down the road, but especially if we teach something, we could show maybe it in real use on a little highlight clip or something like that
That's a good idea.
on the TV. So,
Oh yeah. I wanted to put like news and stuff, like
Yeah.
like the school news, maybe the student of the month.
Yeah, upcoming events
Yeah.
would be a good one.
Right.
Now we got more work to do.
Yeah. That's okay.
All right.
there's a lot of cool stuff.
We like work. Okay. So the 101 curriculum is restarting this week. So if you are interested in trying classes and you're afraid to jump in kind of in the middle of it, it is restarting. So all week we're going to be working on week 1 content. So Frank, what does that entail?
So the first thing we're gonna do is standing, closing the distance. We're just working to get to a clinch from a hostile situation on our feet. And then we're gonna go over some mount defense.
Okay. That's it.
Yep.
Okay. I feel like you're so far back. I
Oh,
can't
sorry.
see.
Uh-oh, trouble.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's good. Perfect.
How
Okay.
to adjust.
So
Oh, and attack from guard.
okay. Like it. We also have an 8-week beginner Muay Thai course that's coming up that Mr. Steve Polito is going to teach. So it's going to be sign up only. Just keep an eye out for it. We're going to give more details about it, but he wants to offer the students 8 weeks, 1 day a week of super basics, because sometimes when you step into Steve Wilson's class, you do have people who are day one and then people who are a few weeks in, and sometimes there's like a little bit of a discrepancy between the the levels of knowledge there. So Steve Polito is going to teach like uber basics that anybody could take really.
That's cool.
So even if you've been doing jujitsu here for like 5 years and you've never stepped foot into a striking class and you want to learn the super basics, you can always take this 8-week course. So probably in like 2 weeks, I think he said we're gonna get that going. So we'll get like a sign up sheet, and then he said once you're in, you're in. Like he's not gonna let people jump in the middle, because then it's kind of that same issue where you have people who know more than other people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for it. Should be cool. Okay. So we had some questions, and one of them was when is a good time to start competing in jujitsu? So what do you guys think about that?
So we'll open it up to all of it.
There we go.
But my biggest thing when it comes to when you should compete is, me personally, I believe whenever you feel like you want to compete. So whether you're, I don't know, I think my first competition I did, I was like just a few months into it, and so were you. But my biggest thing is, if you feel like you want to compete, then compete. Whether you're 5 years into it or a few months into it, if you feel now's the time you first want to compete, do it. It all goes by skill, meaning belt rank or time. So you don't have to worry about going against somebody like too advanced. You're not going against black belts as a white belt or anything like that. You're gonna go against other white belts. So I feel like whenever you want to do it, you should do it. And that goes with any competitions, whether it's your first or your 100th.
Yeah.
Me personally, I believe like if you feel the urge to compete, then you should compete.
Yeah.
If you don't, then don't do it.
So with judo, the one thing we have to add is there's like a little added element of safety in judo. Jiu-jitsu tournaments are great where they're a little safer, and the refs are really watching out for safety, especially at the white belts. In judo, you have to be able to take a good fall against someone who's really trying to throw you hard. Now, you can't even think of really competing before then. I mean, or you might be thinking about it, but you're definitely not ready until you're like sparring hard. So it does kind of cover itself. And then the other thing I always think about if I'm like trying to help people get ready is you have to be okay with losing. And it stinks.
Yeah.
That's with anything.
Losing's gonna stink.
I was just thinking
But,
that.
like,
I was like, oh, I wish I added that to
I got
like,
you. I got
yeah.
you. You know, like you're gonna lose. I don't care who you are. So you don't have to be super happy about it. You don't have to like losing. You just have to understand that, you know, some divisions will have 5 people, 10, 20, and everyone's going into that thinking they're going to win.
Yeah.
And like one person
He's
leaves
gonna
happy.
win.
Everyone else is grumpy and mad and upset. But, you know, the atmosphere here is great. We're like, we all have been through that.
Yeah.
So we know and we don't put this pressure on you. But you just have to understand that. The benefit is, though, competing in judo and jiu-jitsu dramatically improves the rate at which you get good at. I
Yeah.
mean, if you take someone who competes even twice a year to someone who doesn't compete, you know, all things being equal, and not even all things being equal, almost always the competitor is going to get better faster. And one of the main reasons is because losing sucks.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I got choked, I got thrown, and you don't want to do it again. So you're like working on choke defense. Well, now you're not going to get choked as much. So then you can work on, I had mount but couldn't finish. Well, now you're going to work on all your finishes from mount. So, you know, I used to compete a lot, 10, 12, 15 plus times a year. Obviously, I don't do that now, but that's one of the reasons why I got good during that time frame. Is just compete, because you always have something on the top of your mind that you want to get better at. So, you know, whether it was gripping or throws or groundwork, you know, or even like just getting in better shape, strategy, whatever it is, there's always something you know you're going to work on, and then you're going to go test against new people, against different people. So,
When it goes to winning and losing, I mean, my biggest thing is I always tell people, if you win, good job. If you lose, it's no big deal. Like either way, whether you win or lose, it's not like you're gonna come home to a parade.
yeah.
It's not like it's gonna be in the front page of the newspaper. Oh, you lost. I can't believe that you let everybody down. Like we've all been there before, especially if it's your first tournament. I always have low expectations when people's first tournaments. Prove me wrong. I mean, Charlie proved me wrong. His first tournament, he took third
It's
at
just
the
math.
NY
People are going to
Open.
lose.
But I mean, you could always prove me wrong. But most of the time, most people have trouble with their first tournament.
Yeah.
It's a new experience. It's a new way. I consider it part of your training. So it's a new way to train. Is competing. Yeah. So you're not used to it. So chances are it's going to be a rough day. So a lot of people have proved me wrong throughout that. Some people haven't, but it is what it is.
Yeah. It's also fun.
Yeah.
It is.
Besides just the experience, like you're like road tripping, you're going out to eat, you're hanging out all day with your teammates. I mean,
You get to watch like other high level people compete too.
Yeah.
You go to jiu-jitsu and judo tournaments, you get to watch like black belts roll around all day.
national
pretty
champs,
cool. Yeah.
Olympians. It's pretty cool. You get to see what they're doing. You
Yeah.
know, one of the first things that kind of shocked me was like those people are just normal or goofy people, like right up until competition
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah.
like, you know, I had an instructor way back when who was like, don't talk to people, don't show them what move you're gonna do. Like, sorry for me, I got in that environment, but like, then once I broke out of that, like, you know, Olympians, like Tim used to have to fight this Olympian like every tournament, and then we're all like super cool and we're like talking and hanging out, and then like right around tournament time, like, all right, let's go do you go do you, but like it's always a lot of fun, real good memories. So I highly suggest get out and compete. It's really
it's
cool.
Great.
Yeah.
And a lot of people get nervous about their nerves. To me, that's one of the funnest parts of competing. Yeah, it's like riding a roller coaster. If you don't get nervous before you ride a roller coaster, then all the fun out of the roller coaster's lost.
Cool. Yeah.
So as soon as I stop getting nervous for competing is when I'll probably stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Taking it.
Yeah.
For real. Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely still get it. I'm good at like the day.
Yeah.
Like so the car ride, I'm all right.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be like I didn't sleep.
Yeah.
I couldn't eat. I was a nervous wreck all day. Right before I was gonna go on the mat, I thought I was gonna puke.
Yeah.
Now all that's gone except for the last night.
Yep.
Right before the match, I'm like, oh,
what am I doing
what
here?
am I doing fighting this guy?
Why did I just stay home?
Yeah, but it's always worth it.
Yeah.
I've never gone to a tournament and regretted it and not learned so much.
And afterwards, I'm always like, I want to, win or lose, I want to go back out there.
I'm pumped. I got my first tournament in a long, I don't even know last time I competed. I can't even remember. It's sad. Sorry, getting old. But gonna compete at least once in April, maybe twice. Maybe old school, two tournaments in a month.
Wow.
So we'll see. They're just very lucky and convenient. So we'll see. But yeah, I'm pumped up.
We have the Muay Open this month, or in April as well, the 21st and 22nd.
So that's what we're shooting.
So that's good. April's a big competition. On Judo's the week of the 14th. You guys have the 21st, 22nd, and then we got the 29th or so also.
Oh. Yeah, it's good. Springtime.
Filling up the trophy case.
Yeah.
Look out. I like it.
Get into our season, I feel.
Yeah.
Pumped.
The weather's getting warmer.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
It's so hard to like get out of bed in the morning when you know it's just gonna be so cold. Yeah.
I love the covers, but I got them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Okay. What do we think about time? We have time for.
I've got a couple more minutes.
Yeah.
A couple more. So let's talk about stuff that we like to do outside the gym that helps us with our inside the gym stuff. So what are you thinking about that?
So my biggest thing is I just like watching videos when it comes to technique, when it comes to people sparring. To me, out of anything that helps me, I don't really do like yoga outside, or I don't really lift too much outside. I like to play like sports or activities, but nothing crazy, like especially this time of the year. I don't really go outside that much. So I think videos help me the most when it comes to outside of the gym, studying, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Definitely film. That's something I haven't done enough of. And in the past, it's like hard to explain, but like just watching videos and DVDs, especially on like a topic or like maybe a barrier of something that's, you know, kind of in the way, that's something that's in the past helped me the most. Aside from that, again, especially for judo, in judo, especially if you're going to compete brown belt, black belt, national level, you can't neglect strength and conditioning. And I've been on both sides of it. I've lost to people who were just stronger and in better shape than me as I guess, and at the same time, I beat plenty of people that were better than me that I was just stronger and in better shape than. So that's something now, as I'm getting back into a little bit more competing, I want to take way more serious. So I'm going to try to get a little more jacked up, a little more on my Wendler.
You're looking all jacked up right now.
It's winter bulk. That's all. Like coffee, chocolate, and
he
pies
was wearing
and
a
stuff.
hoodie before. He's like, let me show off the guns, take it off.
Well, hopefully in a few months there's some nice improvements, or else those road trips home will be a little sad for Tom while everyone else is winning. So no, I definitely want to get back into better shape. I might have some like goofy fitness kind of contest or participation, whatever thing. I want to do the first one I want to do is a 100 burpee challenge. Where like film yourself doing 100 burpees.
Every day?
No. Once, right? Once. And note the time. And then in like 4 weeks or 8 weeks, do it again. Okay. And I think it'd be pretty cool if like
I'll jump in on
we'd
that.
see like 10, 20, 30 people do it because
Okay.
it's motivating. And burpees are evil, but they work really, really, really well at making you just fight or just train. Like, you know, like you have jiu-jitsu rounds that are like 5 minutes, like a half hour, like, and you don't want to. Not only do you not want to miss a round, you don't want to be just dead. Like, I'm sparring and not doing anything. So if you're in good shape, you'll get a lot more out of training. So, yeah, maybe you should. What are you doing off the mats, Sensei? What do you like doing?
I'm not a huge video watcher. I've just never been, because I think I've kind of been spoiled because I have good instructors. So like whenever I have a question, I just always ask you guys. So I've never been like a huge video watcher, but I don't know. I guess I'm into like the mobility stuff. I do it here, so it's not really like an out of the gym activity, but it's like outside
class,
after my training, I'll try to mobilize. So it's not. I have like a flexibility problem with my shoulders and mobility problem. Like they just don't. Like I cannot. Can you see this in the camera?
Yeah.
Like I can't get my hands to touch at all. It's not even close.
Oh.
Like it's really bad.
It hurts
2, 3.
Like that from fingertip to fingertip.
Wow, why can't you reach that?
I don't know.
I mean, I gotta loosen up now.
I just am not flexible in my shoulders. They've always been really tight, and I work on it every day, but they're still so tight. I need like some advice maybe on, some mobility experts.
I'm not an expert, obviously I can't, but I got some stuff. Maybe we can go over it and shoot a video.
I need it. And hips too. I think, like trying to build like the posterior strength, because we're always so like forward, whether we're like sitting at work or we're driving or training, like we're so hunched forward and our hips are so compressed. Yeah. So I like to really open up that front hip flexor and strengthen the buttocks.
Word.
Yeah, and just get
mobility and posture.
Yeah, try to like correct all the crap that I'm doing to my body. Because training's, it takes a toll.
Yep.
So that's my big one.
That's cool.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that's all the time we have. The mats are starting to fill up.
Yeah.
So sorry we have to cut this week a little short. But please keep sending your questions into any one of us or Scranton MMA's Facebook page. I think that's the easiest, to be honest with you. And we'll keep trying to plug along with more questions. Please give feedback. We very much appreciate it.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Bye.
See you.